Please welcome our next competitor from OneLab.
So good evening. My name is Andrew Hall, and I'm a co-founder at OneLab. So what OneLab is, it's a web-based platform that accelerates the rate of scientific discovery. So what you may not know is that scientists spend and waste a lot of their time doing the wrong experiments. And this is because they don't have access to the right information. This is due to the exorbitant amount of information that there is out there for scientists. So to give you an idea about that, there's over 22 million scientific journal articles and over 2 million products and services for scientists. So this is a lot to go through. And the current technology available to scientists is slow and inefficient, and it's not very accurate. And the fundamental problem that it's facing is that the work scientists do when they want this information is confidential. So we don't know a lot about them during their project. And what OneLab is, it's a digital workspace that encompasses all the tools that scientists need for this period, this confidential period. And as a result, we'll know more about them. And because we know more about them, we can provide them with information that they need when they want it. So this information comes in the form of information on publications and also products that they use. And in this way, we'll establish a pipeline between biotech companies and scientists, and that's how we're going to monetize the platform. We're going to be able to charge for advertisement and through the sale of products on the platform. So who are we? We're a team of life scientists, so believe me when I tell you we've lived this pain. We've gone through it. We know what the problems are. And because we also have computer scientists on our team, we know how to fix it. Two of our advisors, Dr. William Mobley and Dr. Marianne Martone, they're leaders in their respective fields of life science research and information technology. So we're the right team to fix this problem. In fact, we already have a working prototype, and we have over 200 users on there, which is amazing since it's still just a prototype and we just rolled it out. And the interesting thing is these users, they're on there a lot. They're on there for over an hour a day. Furthermore, we've gotten very positive feedback from the academic world. Down Syndrome Research Foundations jumped at the idea of getting their researchers on this platform because they know it can help with the problems associated, solving the problems associated with this devastating condition. So now let me walk you through kind of the look and feel of our platform. OneLab is structured as a social network, okay, and it mirrors the hierarchy that exists in real-world laboratories. And on it, we have tools to help scientists communicate and to organize their work. We're also implementing an open application development platform so that third parties can create tools that scientists find useful in their work. In OneLab, there's an authoring tool that allows scientists to put their work in a more polished and final form, and they have full control over who sees this potentially sensitive information. And most importantly, we're implementing cutting-edge semantic technology. And this is what allows us to make very accurate predictions about what scientists are interested in from journal articles and information in the research, as well as the products. And again, this is the pipeline that I spoke about. So this is how we're going to connect biotech companies directly to scientists and offer them the products in the form of advertisements and the ability to buy these products through OneLab in the critical time in their project when it's most necessary. So all these tools together make us unique. This is a new field for life sciences, and there's a number of technologies coming out in the past few years. And what OneLab is, it's a combination of all these technologies. And the result is something more than just the sum of the parts. Okay, the result is a digital ecosystem where scientists, biotech companies, and developers can all interact to their mutual benefit. So how big of a market are we talking about? How many users can we get? Well, we're life scientists, so that's what we're going to start with because it's what we know best. And there are 1.8 million of us worldwide. But the beauty about this platform is it can be applied to other disciplines. So our potential market for users is up to 6 million that are all the science and engineering researchers worldwide. For revenue, we're looking initially at advertising and from biotech companies trying to reach us, we life scientists. They spend $1.2 billion on that annually. And once we get into the resale of items on OneLab, we're looking at a much larger market, which is $40 billion in revenue for the sale of biotechnology reagents to life scientists. So our initial projections focus on a modest assumption that we'll have a 5% penetration into the life scientist market or user base. So that's 90,000 users. Based off the activity of our beta testers of 9 page views per user per day, we can make assumptions, we can make calculations and come to a revenue of 1.7 million. So this is using industry standard charging for advertisements and click-through revenue. And when we expand to the larger user base, we'll see that revenue more than quadruple. And when we increase our functionality to include also the resale of items on OneLab, we can go up to nearly $67 million. So this is assuming a 1% penetration into the biotech sales market and a 5% commission on these sales. So what we're asking for is $850,000 for 20% ownership of OneLab. And what that's going to allow us to do is initiate our strategy for growth. And our first stage is going to be heavy on development. We want to finish out the platform so we have all the tools to get users and keep them on there, and also develop that pipeline between scientists and biotech companies. In year 2, we're going to go full out for user and company recruitment. And we have a detailed plan for this. It involves creating automated automated profiles for people and emails and going to conferences and other outreach events. And this will lead to our year 3, where we'll expand into larger markets and carry out into the reagent sale. And also we have a number of other revenue generating models, one of which is a talent solution model where we offer companies the ability to search for talented workers on OneLab. And in the United States, this talent solution amounts to about $130 billion of a market. So the $850,000 is going to take us to within year 2, and that's where we calculate we'll reach our break-even point. And that break-even point, based off our estimates for our costs and our revenue, is roughly at 45,000 users, or 2.5% penetration into the user base. That's life science user base. It represents about 0.1% penetration into the advertising market. And from an investor standpoint, we believe there are a number of possible exit strategies. We're going to be seeking another round of funding where early investors might be bought out. And also, because this is a new and burgeoning field, there are a number of large conglomerates buying up small tech firms. So that's another possible way to cash out early. And what I'd like to stress is that we believe OneLab's not only a good investment opportunity financially, but it's an opportunity to be a part of something that we're very passionate about and that we think can make a very big difference, which is accelerating the rate of science. Thank you. I'll also bring up the other team members to ask some questions. Give me a mic.
So I would think biotechnology would be an area that's pretty underserved in terms of social connection. Is anybody else looking at this at all? Do you know if there's any potential competition in this area?
I think our most close competitor is ResearchGate. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Is a professional social network for scientists, but they're focusing mostly on what is already published. So they're trying to design new metrics so that not only references are important for papers, but also views, and they're trying to connect scientists, but it's mostly focused on what's already published. We are trying to capture what is not published already, and I think this is a lot more powerful to deliver advertisement to these people.
Do you have any concern about security? And how comfortable would the scientists be in a platform like this in terms of possible leaks or breaks and so forth?
Well, I think with any internet technology, you have that concern. But I think as scientists get more comfortable with technology tools, for example, Dropbox, right? We don't even have really any thought now when we put our really secure data on Dropbox. But we do have safeguards in place. We have full encryption throughout the website for every page. And in terms of data loss, we have duplication, and we replicate our data both on the server locally and 2 to 3 other places. So in terms of data loss, we're not concerned about that. But in terms of of leaking data, that is a concern, but we think we're going to have very secure ways of making them change their passwords and things like that, so that if it does get compromised, we can resolve those quickly.
So I'd also like to add, though, that that's what the permission system addresses. So I kind of flew through it, but every user has the ability to control where their data goes and who sees it.
And among some of the competitors you showed on the chart, I'm not familiar with them, are there any one of those players have reached significant scale, meaning they have over 1 million users?
Yes, ResearchGate has approximately 2.2 million users now, and also academia.edu. They serve not only the life sciences, but also social sciences. They have over 3 million users, and they've been growing approximately, I believe, 600,000 users a year annually. So they've been ramping up.
Given you guys are at the point before publications are made, have you given any thought to having tools to allow researchers to protect their intellectual property?
So the issue of patent bars and things like that. So the main issue there, the main concern is of patent rights. And so what we do is we actually take small bits and pieces of information, and we then try to deliver them with relevant content. So we do not enable, by giving them these small bits and pieces of information to biotech companies. We're not an enabler of the public disclosure that we do have is not an enabling public disclosure. So that wouldn't cause a patent bar issue. And also, but essentially, using our platform, there won't be any issues of patent concern because we don't actually give out any private information.
So a couple of questions. One is, going back to Quinn's question, there are competitors out there with already kind of a platform that has quite a bit of usage. So what would be the competitive advantage that you have that they can't, get into the side that is not published work?
ResearchGate, as I was telling before, is focusing mostly in the networking part of science. So they are very underdeveloped in anything that would help a scientist to author publication, for example, or even like simple lab organization or lab communication. We have adopted a completely different strategy. So we want scientists to be on our platform on a daily basis. One of the criticisms that has been made on ResearchGate, that even if it's very useful, scientists don't spend a lot of time on it. It's something similar to LinkedIn. You just don't feel the need to be on it all the time because the amount of information that you receive out of it is pretty small. We're trying to change that ratio completely, and and for the amount of time the scientists spend on it, deliver a very large amount of information.
So, and on the technology side of things, we've developed our platform using an open framework, a social networking framework. So we can actually leverage quite a few developers who have expertise in our framework. So we think we can be more agile, and we can outsource some of our coding. And so, and basically our expertise and our, I think we have one foot in the academic world, and so we can implement innovations relatively quickly based on feedback and things of that nature. So we think that larger companies would rather acquire us rather than try to outcompete us.
Well, we're all out of time. Let's give it up for OneLabs.